All right, so hello, whoever. I don't even know if anybody's gonna watch this. It'd be cool if I could like have a little series, but so I'm not gonna call this anything. I'm not gonna get my hopes up. But I just want to ramble on about this keyboard that I built yesterday, and I'm just really happy about it. Um, so I got this keyboard, the Atreus. It's a little 40% keyboard. It literally has 42 keys. It's 40% keyboard. If anybody's like trying to question that, yeah, it's a 40% keyboard. And a couple weeks ago, I got another one in. So I ordered this from Technomancy's. I think that's how you say your nickname. But I got this from his website, and he puts a lot of love in these kits. Right, he comes with the wood layers, and you sand them down, and you can he puts a little bottle of oil with it, so if you want to just go the easy route of just sanding and put it on there, you can. I wanted something a little bit better looking than that, so I sanded it down with the 100 grit, then the 200 grit, then a 400 grit, then a 1000 grit. I'm not really a wood guy. I just figured that would work, and then I used spray enamel and glossy spray enamel. So I mean, this one came out pretty good, but yeah, there's the gloss, so it's definitely there. And this has Matias switches, so a Matias quiet click. They're not really they're as quiet as I would say clears are on Cherry. Well, maybe that's a little harsh because Cherry clears are pretty loud because of that spring, but and the ping and whatever. Yeah. So yeah, I mean they're really good switches, right? So I mean it's my first actual Matias like full keyboard, right? I've it's the first one I've owned, so it's nice to have it. But I didn't want to take the risk with this one as much, right? I just sanded the edges. I used a sanding block, went over it. I didn't want to round the edges out, and so I didn't sand the actual edges. So it actually looks. It doesn't look good. I'll be honest with you. It looks a bit. That's not gonna freaking focus. I gotta see. Yeah. Oh yeah. See, it doesn't look that good. I mean, the back part is a little bit better, but I didn't sand the edges out, and this is what I get for it. I don't even know if they're supposed to be sanded anyway, though. I don't know if that was his intent or not. I guess I could ask that, but I'm lazy about that. But I didn't sand it. So I think what I'm going to do is later with this, I'm going to go over and put glossy black paint around the edges instead of like sanding this down and kind of risk fucking it up. I think I'm going to just put down masking tape and hand paint it with like model paint, glossy paint, so it works really well. Hopefully that will stick. Again, I'm not a wood guy, but I mean it's not bad looking. The color is really nice. The plate came out. Building this one, I mean the PCB is a little weird. I think the PCB is more intended for the Cherry MX, though. It works with the Matias as well. I don't know if you can notice here, but like the thumb keys, that was the weird ones though. You may see they're slightly bent. And it's kind of had to do with, it's kind of bent in this way because it doesn't totally line up with the PCB when you put it in there. So what I did is I held it down, I soldered one and pushed it in there. So everything. And I think there was a few other switches like up here that I had to do that too. Just anybody tips building this. I mean, you just kind of solder one, hold it down with the soldering iron, make sure it's all in place, so then everything's everything's aligned. Yeah, and the thing about this is that they stick up pretty high, the Matias switches, because the plate on a Matias switch is actually really low down on the switch, so that where it mounts on the plate. Whereas on a Cherry MX switch, the plate mount is actually like in the middle of the switch, so it just raises up higher. So I mean, this was the Matias one. I like it. I was excited when I got it, for sure, and except I don't like the DSA keycaps. So DSA keycaps, it ships with DSA keycaps, which is understandable. You could buy them in bulk from Signature Plastics, have them made in bulk, and that's really your probably most economical option if you're selling these kits for him. So it comes with that. There's no deep dish keys, so I kind of took a knife to it. It's a little ugly, but at least I have homing row. But then I've been using anybody that's been following me, I've been using an Ergodox since like a prototype, right? So I've been using DSA keycaps, though, since the beginning, right? And this is just my Ergodox, one of my Ergodox. I have 4. And I usually had no problem with DSA until I used this keyboard. And I think it has to do with the fact is I'm also earning Colmac at the same time. So I don't know where my hands are going. I'm just moving all around. So the sculpted keycaps, when I got my Cherry version of this, and I'm excited about it. Because I just don't like DSA. I thought I liked DSA. I thought I was a big fanboy for DSA, but really, DSA sucks. But that's my opinion. I'm allowed to make opinions, right? Right, I'm allowed to make opinions. All right, it's cool. It's cool. So, yeah, I got the Cherry one in, and what I did is I took Cherry MX keys off a Quickfire I had that just was really fucked up. It was sitting, like a lot of stuff, I break a lot of keyboards. I don't really share it a lot, or no one really pays attention to me on Geekhack, so whatever. But I had a Quickfire in which I had Ergo clears, and of course right now I don't have my keycap puller. What the hell? Yeah, of course it doesn't work out. I'm making a recording and I don't have it. Well, they're MX clears that are Ergo clears. They're 62 gram gold springs, and the springs have been lubed. Everything's been lubed. They were done right. They were Ergo clears done right, and this was like 2 years ago, right? But I'm not using them, and instead of going through the process of modding switches, I just didn't really freaking feel about it. And I needed a silent switch, so it's a fairly silent. It's a fairly silent switch compared to the Matius, which is it's a bit louder, right? Doesn't really matter. I like them both, but this one I plan on traveling with. I travel usually in the summer for work, it seems like. I mean, so I want a keyboard to bring with me, and one that I can actually just like pop out, right? I'm in a lot of boardrooms for work. It'd be cool to just like plop this sucker down on top of my laptop, and people would be like, "What the fuck is that thing?" I love that kind of. I love that kind of stairs and stuff. It's a conversation piece. Whatever. Maybe it's not a good idea. I don't know. The only thing I'm worried about with traveling with this is it's made of wood, and it. I'll be honest. I mean, it flexes. So I feel like I should get at least a semi-hard case for it. Because I'm stowing away my backpack. I always stow it away under the seat in front of me, and I just kick that motherfucker. So it's, whatever. So so I got this keyboard in, and I want this to be my primary keyboard. I want this so badly to be like my current end game, right? I use a lot of keyboards. I got like 30 keyboards. So I mean, I run through keyboards a lot. But I wanted a new primary. I wanted something that I would like. So I put the Cherry original G81 Cherry, white on black keycaps, double cap. They're shiny as hell, but they're like the best feeling keycaps, really, even shiny as or not. So even though I'm Colmac, these legends don't mean jack. I'm in Colmac, right? So I mean things are all messed up. It's QW, QWFP, that kind of thing. It's Colmac. But that doesn't matter. It's the feel of it, right? And I want to travel around. And also, GMK and Cherry keycaps, they're quieter. I mean, they really are. They if you use DCS keycaps, they're pretty freaking loud compared to normal keycaps, right? And I may put O-rings on this. I don't know. I need it to be quiet though. I can't be traveling and look like I'm bringing a typewriter, because that's the way people interpret mechanical keyboards. I'm sorry, guys. You know how it is. Anybody that bring like a, even a brown, cherry brown, generic keyboard, bring it to work, people are still going to say, shut the fuck up. Whatever. Just how it is, guys. So, I mean, it's handy. So, again, I don't think anybody's going to watch this, so I'm just ranting. Why the hell not? Who cares? Who cares, right? So how I made this keyboard, right? This one I put a hell of a lot more love into when I made it, right? I went straight down the spectrum of sanding, got it really smooth. I used a block for this, and then on the side I actually hand sanded with the 100, and it got kind of a rounded edge. If it focuses, this camera's actually not bad for Logitech, but that's got to focus. Let me see if I put my in there. There we go. Oh, look at that! Look at that. So I rounded the edge, so it's not bad. And I actually sanded the edges, so that the difference between the other one is amazing. This just brings out like so much. So much is brought out by doing this. Let's focus. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, look at that. Oh wow, it looks as good as it looks here in person. And on the back, it even looks, I think, better. I think it looks better on the back, right? This is comparison is super night and day, like shitty and not shitty, right? And I put a lot more coats of the glossy clear enamel, so I bought this. They're like $4 a bottle of glossy enamel varnish, and I think I put like 6 coats on this thing, so it shines. It's a shiny keyboard. I like it. It's like high quality wood flooring. That's the best way to compare it to, and it's scratch resistant. It's also like kind of water resistant. I wanted to put a lot on it. I put it both on both sides of the layers so that they would possibly strengthen the wood since I'm traveling with it. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But I figure that would like strengthen it. But it looks pretty. Looks pretty good. You can see my. Yeah, look at that. Remember switch stickers? Remember when that was a thing? That's still a thing. I like switch stickers. Whatever. You can see them. I got green switch stickers on there. I don't have my keycap puller, so I can't exactly show it. But yeah, I really like it. So I put on the cherry keycaps, put on the GMK modifiers. And then I guess this is a good place to transition on like how the Atreus like works practically, right? Because that's maybe an interest of people. So when you get the Atreus, I just got to mention, Technomancy. His name's Phil. It's on the thing here. So Phil Hagelberg. I'm sorry, I forgot your name before coming on here, but he packages handwritten notes and instructions on how to build this thing. It's great. Someone that brings a lot of love. It's not like when you buy something on like Massdrop, right? That's the biggest example. Or even the Phantom group buy and everything. It's not like you don't get this amount of love. You don't get a lot of people that care about you. He really cares about the keyboard, and it shows the mapping of the keys on here, right? So by default it's QWERTY, and on the second layer. So if I want to do my number keys. That was the biggest concern about 40%. But I think this is where 40% actually works really well, is just the way these split out. So these 4 keys here are really your thumb keys. It's not these. It may be a confusing look of what these are for. This is more aesthetics, but these are your modifiers. These are your Alt and Control, right? Alt, Control. And this is your space. This is backspace. Great. I love backspace there. Left thumb there. Shift and function. So it's a hell of a lot easier than I thought it was. In fact, I can tell you, it's really my difficulty right now with this keyboard is the Colmac is nothing to do with where the layers are and stuff. I've memorized now everything is, and I've had this thing for maybe like 2 weeks or less than that, right? Maybe like a week. So the layers on is that you hold down the function key and then you essentially have like a numpad. So I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? I have my times, plus, divide, and equal. And those are all those are actually 10 keyless keys. They're not the actual like numpad keys. So I mean that's useful because you can use them in combination with shift. Though I wouldn't. That he actually what he does is he puts it over the actual like shift keys that you would have. Like exclamation point and stuff. That's actually here. So you have exclamation point at pound, $, percent, and caret. All that's actually over here, so you hold down the function to do that. So you don't have to do multiple. The design is actually pretty nice because it uses. I put TMK firmware, so it actually does like kind of macro of when I hold down this and I press this, it's doing shift 1, right, to do exclamation point. So and then you can enter in. So you hold down this and enter this in, and it enters in the second layer, and it's persistent, so it's not just momentary, or I don't know what the right term is, but it's persistent so that you have your arrow keys, you have insert, delete, home in, page up, page down, and then you have your F keys, which is like it goes. That's kind of weird. I didn't change it, but it is a little weird where it's F1 through 4, F4 through 11, F7 through 10, or excuse me, it goes like the number pad 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11, 12. That's totally confusing everyone, if anybody cares. And it's a little confusing. I've gotten used to it. It's just kind of one of those things I'm dealing with. I'm not exactly a fan of it. I understand where he was getting at when he did that. And then there's a I'm going to change it where the firmware thing is key is here, because I keep wanting to press enter, because this is where enter is on the first layer. So when I do my like delete or whatever here, right? So I go into the second layer and I delete, and then I press enter and like, oh shit, and it goes into firmware reboot. Yeah, so that kind of sucks. But it's the A-Star controller, so it's not a teensy. Actually, when it goes into like bootloader mode, it only is in bootloader mode for like 5 seconds. You have like 5 or 10 seconds to flash it, or it will just go back to normal, which is a little weird. But yeah, so you get in there and you're like, got it, yes, it's programmed, awesome. But whatever. So whatever, man. If anybody's still watching this, I love you guys. Love you. I so happy. So happy. But I don't think anybody's going to watch this shit. Comment if you did, but whatever. So, I don't know. I really love this keyboard. I'd like to talk about my other stuff. I got a lot of keyboards to talk about. Hell, I got an SSK right up there. I got my Infinity Ergonomics. So, I mean, that's another thing to talk about. So, this is also in Colmat. But Infinity Ergonomics, I'd love to make another video about this. You just press this. I have momentary layers, right? And then this is just QWERTY. So I don't have to reprogram my games. I just use this as my gamepad. Yeah, so I just have one hand, and I use this as my gamepad. So I'm playing, CSGO, whatever. Works great. Because this is not made in gaming in mind. You can game with this if you want to. If I were to game with this, I'd change things up a little bit, right? I'd create a layer for gaming, so that these keys are not here. So in other words, you would have your WASD, or you could switch it over one layer and then have this be tab and everything, and then you could have your numbers so that you could actually play. So I mean, it's not like you can't use it for gaming. It's just it's not the default layer is not going to work for gaming. The only thing, I mean, I guess the other thing to mention is that it doesn't come with the print screen, scroll lock, and pause programmed to it. I don't know how that is, and I still haven't fixed that. Like I said, I programmed with TMK. That's because I know how TMK works. Not that I actually really know how it works. It's that I've programmed a lot of Phantoms now and a lot of other keyboards with TMK, like Ergonomics. And so it's... and others, right? So yeah, it's I just know how to use it, but I need to add those layers in there and flash that to this, and so I have that. But it's it's a really nice keyboard. I would suggest this. Should I suggest this to someone? I I just as to someone that just thinks the Ergodox is just too big, because it really is a big freaking keyboard, right? I mean, I have the other hand, right? And if you compare, you know, this, you know, I mean, the Atreus is like the size of like one hand, because I mean it takes up a lot of space on your desk, and I totally understand that. And if you're just a typist, if you're not really a gamer, you have no reason to have the Ergodox, man. Let free try the 40% revolution, right? I was a freaking doubter. I'm pretty sure I'm a huge hypocrite on Keycaps. Not like anybody notices. Again, I'm freaking invisible, but I say hypocritical things. I said that 40% keyboards suck. I'm pretty sure, go through my posts, I'm going to say something like, who the fuck would want to type on a 40% keyboard? Yeah, I probably said that. It's something I'd do. So, you know, I would say try it. It's the kit is, you know, less than $200. Yeah, it's a lot of money. You could buy your quick-fire with it, right? Buy your code. But that's not why you buy this. This, you know, Phil put in this keyboard, a lot of love with this keyboard. You know, I'm pretty sure he's not selling to much of a profit or any profit. Again, I'm making assumptions. The guy's probably getting mad at me, but it's there's a lot of love put into this kit, and it's open source. You can, if you really want to, if you have the source, you can make one yourself. There's people in the thread that have done it, but you know, try, if you want a keyboard that you really want to put some love into, you know, sand it down and everything. I mean, you don't get to do that with those acrylic things. They don't get really, there's a lot of, you feel good when you build something like this, right? You feel good. So yeah, if you're an Ergonomics user, you're okay with the columns. So no stagger, okay with the columns, you know, straight down. It's staggered, you know, vertically, not horizontally, right? So it's in the right position. It's ergonomical. I guess my biggest thing is, since I usually type with the Ergodox like this, my hands are a bit, you know, tilted here, and I need to lean back. I mean, need to pull back a little bit and not be so close to my keyboard, because that's probably ergonomically my problem with this, is that I just have my hand tilted like that, and it should be more straight. This should not be bent, right? I mean, I'm not an ergonomic expert, right? But it's not good. So I need to, you know, position my hands properly, right? Instead of I can't do that. That's why my hands hurt. And did I want, you know, get this for some ergonomic benefit? I did, actually. I wanted a small keyboard to travel with me, right? And I just didn't want to just carry a 60% board. I have one. I mean, I have my Satan G860 here, right? And you know, it's nice and all, but what am I supposed to say, man? I like it. I think I think there's ergonomic benefit to it. I personally, right now, my next thing is I want to try a symmetrical stagger and see if that works, because it would be really cool to have a board that's in a, you know, plain 10 keyless case, or even a 60% symmetric staggered board, so you could just, you know, use normal keycaps and everything. But whatever, man. Whatever. Who cares, right? Yeah. So I put a little micro to mini USB, because I still have my Hyperfuse USB cable going strong still. I think that was Raccoon that made those cables, but yeah, I've been on Keycaps a while, haven't I? So, so again, you know, this is, these letters don't matter. I type with Colmac right now, and I'm about anywhere between 40 and 50 words per minute. I used to be 100 words, 90 to 100 words per minute with QWERTY, so I got some time to go. But at least now I can function, right? I can write my work emails. I don't have to switch back and forth, because that really screws up with your head, right? So I'm really happy with it. I guess I'll close with just a recording of how this sounds. These Ergo clears on Cherry. So let me hear a little bump because I'm gonna aim my microphone down, right? And I'll do a little 10 fast fingers test. The dumb way to do things, right? So let's see. Roll, get my home rows. Get those scoops. Scoops, baby, scoops. So yeah. Ooh, wow. I'm really fucking up. Oh wow, I guess I don't know. Okay, there we go. Wow, this is really hilarious. I'm not typing 40 words per minute. I'm typing like... I think it's because I have to do it with the position I'm in, but I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to record a new video based on this. Not this one, at least. I don't think anybody's watching this, but you just need to hear that beautiful. It's not topre, right? But it's definitely a light. It's not a thock, but because there's lube in there, there's kind of a thock, right? I mean, you can't call it not a thock. Yeah, 20 words per minute. Pathetic. All right. So, yeah, this has been my little video here. If anybody did see this, please let me know. Maybe 2 years from now, somebody saw this. Let me know. I'm curious on how this will travel, but I really wanted to talk about this keyboard. It's actually, I like it that much that I wanted to record a video. I've never done something like this. So, all right. Well, see ya.